Okay, I figured I'd post this on YouTube later. This is a Yamaha Clavinova CVP 55. The issue that I'm having is that I just bought it, and these three keys don't work. I just cleaned it up and they stopped working, but they stopped working before I cleaned it. And so I looked it up, and it looks like likely it could be some kind of a loose connector or something, and there's very limited information on things to do for this piano, so I'll probably post this. So far, what I've done to get it disassembled this far, this thing is normally screwed down, so you have to loosen up these screws here. So that's this screw, and then there's the same one on the other side that is right there. So undo those, and this thing will tip back, but be careful of tipping it back, because if it folds all the way, it'll bend your piano. So I have a chair with some extra weight on it to keep this up. Then, in order to get this keypad, mine was super nasty. I just went over it with a lint roller. So I wanted to get this off also just so I could get these keys out. So there's 4 screws on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I lied, there's 5. I have those laid out there. And those screw in along here. So you undo those, lift this up. And once you lift it up, you're gonna kind of see that these connectors get kind of pulled a little bit. So I took a picture of where they went. I'll kind of show you. This one went right here. This one went right there. And this one went right there. But they got too stressed when I tried to pick it up so I could get actual access to the piano. So I unplugged them and I documented that. Yeah, so once you do that, then you can pick it up and kind of carefully slide it backwards, making sure you're not stressing out any electrical connections, because as you can see, there is that ground cable right there, that ground cable. If you tip it, that'll get stressed out. Same thing with this ground cable. And yeah, the floppy disk drive, I really don't know if mine works or not. But anyways, that's where we're at so far. Now I'm gonna get in here. I need to undo a few more screws. So there's one in here, there. You can kind of see it, but wow, it refuses to focus where I want it to. There, so that screw, you wanna undo that screw right there, that one. But first you're gonna wanna take out the side bits. So these pieces need to come out. So you undo that, this whole piece will be able to come out. And then this same side, one right there. But that goes to the power cable. So you're gonna have to be more careful with this side. So you gotta kind of wiggle it out weird. So I'll probably record that here in a minute as well. But so far, so good. Hopefully I don't break it. Yeah. Okay, so I now undid those in the back. Now what I'm gonna do is there's 4 bigger bolts here. So I'm gonna be taking those out and unscrewing. There's one there, one there, one there, one there, one there on the end. So I'm gonna take all those out, and then I should be able to take this whole keyboard piece and tip it so I can look at the bottom. Anyways, okay, after taking those off, I've been able to tip up this piano piece. It's very heavy. So be careful. And also it really wants to pinch wires. So I recommend you kind of pull it forward a little bit and make sure you don't lay it down on any of those wires, because this metal bracket really probably wants to cut those. So what I'm gonna be doing now is unplugging these and remembering where they go. So that way I can feed them through and take out this keyboard thing and look at the underside of this circuitry to see what I can see. And then hopefully I'll be able to figure out why those 3 keys don't work. Yeah. Hope this is helpful so far. And when I take out the circuit board, I'm probably just gonna have to undo all those tiny screws. And if I have to take out keys, I'm gonna have to take that metal bracket on the back off. But cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, so I've taken it apart, and here's what there is to see. This is one of the keys that wasn't working. It pushes those contact points there, those little rubber ones. And those make contact. If you saw this, when it was on there, it'd be on there this way, on that end. So those contact points. I looked at this in the sun, and I really, couldn't see any breaks in any of the circuitry. I looked a lot more carefully, off camera, obviously. So I don't think the issue is with this circuit board. Circuit board looks totally fine, but what maybe could be causing it is, look at that. There's like gunk on there. So the internet says isopropyl alcohol will help that. And we will shortly find out. Also, these springs, as you can see here, those are what make the keys bounce back, these things. Like, when you do that, it's got like, yeah. So if you were gonna replace a key, other people have made videos on replacing keys on these. I'm not gonna do all that. But, yeah. I'll be back. Okay, so I went in, and I reconnected all those things, and after I got that board off there with the connections, and I cleaned some things with isopropyl, I unplugged everything, and I blew out all the connectors, and then I reconnected everything. It looks like for right now, the 3 keys that were broken work now, which is good. As does everything else, except for this. I don't think that works. I think that's broken. Survey says maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I might have broke some things. Well, we'll see. Okay, I lied. It still works. Which is good. And all the keys work. None of them are stuck now. Initially, some of them got stuck at the bottom when I pressed them. I think it's because I accidentally wiped some of the lube off of the, there's a pivot point on the bottom of the keyboard. But if you have some extra, like, if you work on keyboards at all, like, not pianos, but keyboards, you can use some just like keyboard lube, is what I did. And then I re-lubed some of those contact points for the keys. But, yeah. I put all the screws for the keyboard deck back in there, and I got this guy slotted back in there, and he's not screwed in, so I'm gonna have to screw that in. Oops, I forgot to do that. Yeah, so I think it was loose connectors. So I redid the connectors, and I lubed some contact points, and now everything goes back together, but it's working now, and I cleaned it. So if you need to know how to take it apart, now you do. You're welcome.